Yo, what's good, everybody? I decided that I wanted to record a video today for the Epic JOKO channel. So if you're like one of the, I don't know, 5 people that actively keeps up with this channel, it's good, dude. How's it going? Today I wanted to talk about something a little bit interesting, I guess. You guys will determine whether or not it's interesting, but we're going to talk about weed usage today. Particularly my experiences with it. Not that I do that, of course. This is all a hypothetical CGI, whatever the fuck. I don't do this shit. This is all like alternate universe me. I'm like in a superhero TV show or some bullshit. But hypothetically speaking, I recently just moved and I've been in my new place about 2 months. And the first month of me living in this new place, I was like pretty much completely sober. The only time I was drinking or doing any stupid shit like that was when I was going out with other people being social. That was it. I think things went pretty well for me during that month. I feel like I had an uptick in the amount that I streamed. I feel like my productivity was pretty good. There was a certain level of mental clarity that I hadn't had before that point where it's like, I don't know, for me personally, and I feel like people sort of debate this online. There's like this whole thing where some people just don't believe that smoking weed makes you lazy or it like fucks with your memory. And I would like to think that maybe for less than 5% of the population, probably less than that, maybe more like 2% of the population, that's probably the case. And you could just get by and you could smoke all day and you're fine. I think for most people though, myself included, your memory starts to go if you do shit too much and your productivity starts to go way the fuck down. You just like, you don't realize it. I think it's just because your brain just in a permanent fog and you get so distracted. You feel like you're doing so much more than you actually are, but literally you're basically just doing the equivalent of sitting there twiddling your thumbs. I've run into doing that a lot, especially when my usage of Welch's fruit snacks and stuff like that has an uptick. I sit there and I say to myself, like, you know what, you're doing pretty good. You're doing a lot today. You got a lot of shit done. And in reality, it's like, I probably just knocked out a couple of chores and like maybe started editing a video, maybe did like a stream. That's like nothing. I didn't do shit. But to get a little bit more back on track, this past month, I got back on all the stuff. I was like, fuck it. Let's see how things go. If I'm, doing a Welch's fruit snack every once in a while, we could do some drinking in the household, which, to be honest with you, I don't think I did at all outside of streams. Whatever you saw me do on stream over this past month was my only drinking inside of the house. I found that as I've gotten older, and honestly, in the first place, I never have really enjoyed just like, sitting down, relaxing, having a beer after, I don't know, work or, I mean, I'm fun employed, so it's a little bit different for me. I'm not getting off my grueling 9 to 5 and taking a sip of the bev. It hasn't appealed to me too much in my older age. Maybe it's because I'm unk status now. Maybe it's because I'm fucking ancient. Drinking in the house by myself is not a vice for me, and that is what I've determined after this 2-month experiment. Like, it really isn't. I know it's really funny because people see me drinking on stream and they're like, dude, you are so capping, you are so lying, we see the drinking streams. You're just gonna have to believe me on this. I swear to God, the only drinking I do is pretty much on stream and socially. Outside of that, it's a super rare occurrence. I'm talking like maybe once a month. It's really the fucking Welch's fruit snacks that get me, man. It's really that. And this past month, I got back on that shit. And I just felt like my productivity just went right the fuck down, which was really just detrimental to the JOKO live channel. I feel like the amount of uploads that I got out on there was kind of unacceptable. And the length of those videos also, and like the stuff that I was uploading, it got to like the end of the month and I was like, fuck, I don't have the right videos ready for this. I feel like I just haven't done the right shit. So that kind of sucked, man. And now it's got me thinking, like, is it a good idea to just have an absolute free-for-all, just have, the Welch's fruit snacks in the house? Is it too tempting? I don't know. But I think I really do know the answer. And I think the answer to some extent is yes. I don't feel like it's necessary for me to entirely remove it from my life. I think what it comes down to at the end of the day is having a little bit of extra discipline and having the right mindset around it. Weed, like a lot of other things in life, can be used as a tool. Most people don't use it as a tool. Most people use it as an escape. They want to experience something different, and I get that. I've been there in my life. I totally know how that goes. But I think the best way to use weed is as a tool. And honestly, doing creative things while being a little bit, sauced out of the brain, it's fun. Like, painting has been a big one for me. Drawing, shit like that is so fucking good. to do while a little bit faded. I don't like doing it every single time. Like, I don't like every single time I paint, I don't feel like I need to get faded beforehand. But if I do that, it does make it pretty fun. And it's a pretty safe activity to do inside of the house where you're not going out and doing a bunch of stupid fuck shit, which I think that's a good thing. That's a good thing. I don't really like going out in public and getting faded all that much. And allegedly, that's been reinforced for me as of late. I had to get a reality check on that one. I was like, fuck, this shit is not really all that fun. But listen, man, all this to say, really, is that I'm locking in. I'm locking in for the rest of this year. And I think the only two instances I'm going to allow myself to, you get me, is probably just when I'm doing creative things like painting, drawing, maybe even making beats, maybe. That could be a fun one. Making music has been a big part of what I've been doing as like a hobby lately, which has been super fun. And it's something I always knew I was going to get into, but now has seemingly been the time for that. It's only going to be for that. And if I'm specifically recording a video, maybe I do it for a stream, but I think, I don't know, being faded and being on stream is kind of hard because sometimes there's like a certain non-verbal threshold that you can cross over where it's like, oh shit, all of a sudden I'm not talking. And I feel like for a stream, that can just get really awkward and just not fun. It's just not as good of an experience. So I don't like doing that on stream just in case I accidentally cross over the nonverbal threshold, because I feel like that has maybe happened to me once or twice. Maybe just once, because I really have not gotten faded on stream all too often. But yeah, I think I'm going to be a lot more sparing with my usage of stuff, and I maybe I make a video reporting back in, seeing how things are going. I kind of wanted to just make this video in part to hold myself accountable, and also, I guess, to speak directly to the people. You know, I'm a active participant in stuff like Highcraft, where I wouldn't say it's necessarily like glorifying weed usage, but it's a big part of that. Obviously, it's Highcraft. It's in the name, you know. You got to be careful with that shit, man. You really do, because you just got to be really mindful of how you're actually using it. You don't want to be a fucking daily user who's just mindlessly using weed to just, you know, get through life. Like, be purposeful, be mindful, be intentional with what you're doing. And if you start to notice that you're not really being super intentional with something like weed and you're just leaning on it as a crutch, maybe you got to reconsider its place in your life. I think that's a valid take. You guys let me know if that's a valid take. I'm not saying it's bad. And I think there are some people who can definitely tolerate chronic weed smoking and shit like that more than other people. But for me personally, I'm just trying to figure out what the correct balance is in my life. I've been trying to figure out the balance with a lot of things as of late. So yeah, just a little tiny fun video for the Epic JOKO channel. Do you want to see more stuff like this? Would you like me to talk about certain topics? Would you like me to talk about more real topics? And listen, I know it's like the Go Talk podcast. Where did that go? I don't know. Liam and I, we're goofballs, man. And that podcast was dog shit on purpose, kind of. Maybe episodes of it will come back here and there. But, I mean, this channel is meant to be sort of a shoot the shit, whatever the fuck I feel like uploading that doesn't fit in anywhere else on my other channels. It gets put here. So, that's just kind of how it's going to be. So sorry to anybody who is expecting a Goat Talk episode anytime this year. You're probably a little bit insane in the head if you're a big enjoyer of that, because that shit was fucking stupid. It was funny sometimes. But yeah, maybe that comes back eventually. But perhaps some commentary videos, perhaps some gaming videos on here, maybe some clips and highlights. I don't know. Can't imagine there's ever going to be a super consistent upload schedule on here anytime soon. But I want to be more productive. I want to be more purposeful with my time. And I want to find better balance in my life. So to end off this video, if you guys have any tips and tricks for things that help you find balance in life, let me know. And maybe I can share my own tips and tricks on that in a future video. Thanks for watching, everybody. I appreciate you. Subscribe to the Epic JOKO channel. And I guess I'll put another video right here, right over my big, stupid, awesome face. You can go watch that.